I'm speechless, if I'm honest.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's absolutely unacceptable.
I'm sorry, man. That's...
Hours of training required in the United States versus the job?
For a barber, 1,300 hours.
It's 3,500 hours for being a plumber.
I would hope that police officers are getting a little more than what a barber gets.
And maybe towards where the lawyer is. Whoa!
647.
In Germany, I trained 3 years. We have practical and theoretical training.
In Northern Ireland, we're not just taught the legal side, we're taught how to use and think on our feet as well. And it's those skills that make you a better police officer.
It also doesn't help that America's policing system is fragmented to the point of farce, with around 18,000 different forces.
18,000.
18,000 sets of rules, policies, regulations, and 18,000 levels of accountability.
Here in Canada, we have 141.
In the UK, we have got 43.
In Italy, there's basically only 2.
We have 17. I will never complain about that anymore, since there is a country that has 18,000.
The warrior mindset, Kentucky State Police Academy.
Gee.
The very first essential for success is a perpetually constant and regular employment of violence.
Oh, there's the word again, violence. I don't like that word.
Who said that?
Oh my God, it's Hitler.
His quote is actually part of the slide that they're using. Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't like to say that name.
I'm speechless, if I'm honest.
There's been silly people that don't like the use of that word warrior with law enforcement. Is our cops the frontline troops in this war? Yeah. And they don't want to use the word warrior?
Is he saying that police officers are at war with the community? The police officer is there to serve the community.
Sir, I have to tell you, I do have a firearm on me.
Don't reach for it then. Don't pull it out. Don't pull it out.
All we see is this scenario going the way that we've been trained that it could go.
Guess which of the following images are US soldiers in Iraq and which are police officers in American cities?
Okay, all of them are, I think, are soldiers.
And I think number 2 and 4 are militaries. Oh!
They're all police.
They're all police. Oh, shit.
For several nights this week, this was Ferguson, Missouri.
Policing is very dangerous work, but police officers are not warriors.
I police in Northern Ireland, have done for 21 years. I still, to this day, have to check under my car for a bomb being underneath my car. And even then, I still do not see myself as a warrior.
I'm happy that our police officers have got the sense to be able to talk to members of the public and realise that they're servants of the public and not an occupying force.
Cops accused of stealing over $225,000 can't be sued thanks to qualified immunity.
What's that?
Judges created qualified immunity to protect individual officers from liability.
And what it's morphed into is almost absolute immunity for law enforcement officers.
It's probably a dream comes true for officers that want to break the law.
The same law that should apply to members of the public should apply to the police officers as well.
We have to take the same consequences. We have to have the same punishment.
We have the Special Investigations Unit. We have the Office of the Independent Police Review Directorate.
I used to be the chief of the police academy in Georgia, and also I used to be the chief of Ukrainian National Police. They were both very corrupted, and it was a huge legacy from the Soviet Union. In Georgia, just we disbanded entire traffic police. We fired 15 to 20,000 police officers. And Ukraine, it was the same. Reforms in the law enforcement system were so vital. You have accountability in front of the citizens.
Research suggests that black people are about 3 times more likely to be killed by police than white people.
So you agree that there may be systemic racism?
I don't agree that there's systemic racism in the police department.
Of course there is. Early in the 90s, in the UK, a young man called Stephen Lawrence was murdered. The government commissioned an investigation. It concluded that there was systemic racism in the police service. The beginning of the solution is to acknowledge that it exists.
Officers cuff Floyd's hands behind his back, and Koenig walks him to the restaurant wall.
All right, what's your name?
He was quite impassive, right? I mean, he was not aggressive at all.
Floyd says he is claustrophobic and refuses to enter the police car. He tells them he can't breathe.
I didn't realize that they had got him handcuffed and in a seated position. Well, leave him there and find out what his medical problems are.
All 4 officers are now gathered around Floyd.
They had him in the car once. I don't understand why they ripped him out of the car.
Why isn't that other officer telling him to get off his neck?
1 to 3 big guys. I mean, it's like, of course, it's excessive use of force.
The fact that not one of them have actually turned around and said, get off his neck, it's almost that arrogance.
Chauvins kept his knee on Floyd's neck for a total of 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
That's a murder. I really do feel sorry for the police officers who are there, want to do a good job.
And doing their job in very difficult circumstances and putting their lives at risk.
But there is no rule of law with corruption. There is no democracy with corruption.
I identify myself with being a cop very much. I love my job. And when I see that other people wearing the same uniform as I do, killing people, I feel ashamed.